I've got to leave for work in genuinely 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and get through this video in a calm and civilized manner with getting all my points across. Okay. You know what? I'm going to stay calm while making this video. I am really kind of irritated by this, and it's kind of put me in a bad mood, and has put a very bad taste in my mouth, so to speak. So, as you all know, circulating in the last day or two, and this has been kind of circulating for a long time, however, it's come to fruition today now that Francis Ngannou's out of his UFC contract. Obviously, the UFC have given up the right to match. So obviously, if you don't know what the right to match means, is, for example, let's say bare knuckle fighting offered Ngannou 10 million to fight. The UFC get notified of this, and they have the right to match the terms and the price that bare knuckle are offering to try and keep Ngannou. They've given up the right to match. They don't need him anymore. But I'm gonna say this: whenever this came out, Tyson Fury versus Ngannou, I was like, okay, they probably do that in boxing. I feel like Fury would win that in boxing. That'd be a pretty cool fight. Like, I'd quite enjoy to see that. Ngannou actually leaving MMA to go and fight the great boxers, Anthony Joshua, Wilder. That could be interesting, and we could see how he does. If he's making a depart from the UFC, that's probably the logical thing for him to do instead of going to PFL or bare knuckle, anything like that. This is most likely the logical solution for Ngannou's career right now, to keep him relevant, to keep him making good money, to keep him at the top of the food chain. Within a boxing rule set or an MMA rule set, if it's not in the UFC, do boxing. Don't go to another. I just do boxing. You know what I mean? He'd love to do boxing, but obviously the UFC aren't going to allow Ngannou to go and box while in a UFC contract. I mean, he's not nearly a big enough star. He's, if he was like this killing machine who like talked a load of shit, he would be a lot more popular, I feel. But he's such a soft-spoken guy, and that's why I feel like this is kind of pointless, and I'm going to get into this now. I've got work in genuinely 15 minutes, so I've got to hurry the fuck up. Okay. They're saying they want Ngannou and Fury to box with MMA gloves. So it's not even like under one specific rule set. It's under the boxing rule set with mixed martial arts 4-ounce gloves. I'm not sure how this would work. I think this is completely stupid and pathetic. Ngannou is departing himself to do exhibition fights, essentially. And I get Fury. Fury's retired. Fury's a fighting man. He wants to take down the biggest, baddest MMA fighter, heavyweight, with MMA gloves. And Fury gains so much more out of this than Ngannou does. I think it's just pathetic. I think it's not the fact that it's like a adjusted rule set, and they're trying to do it at Madison Square Garden, the fighting capital arena of the world, and it's just like, I don't know what people's opinions are on this. I haven't seen anything on social media that's necessarily been out like, oh my god, this can't happen. It's just like, I just think it's ridiculous that he's gonna go down this route. If you want to fight Tyson Fury, box him with boxing gloves. Don't box him with MMA gloves and like try and meet in the middle. Because first of all, it takes any professional rule set out of it. People won't be as interested because the casual fan won't really understand, is it MMA or is it boxing? I just feel like it's a bit... Fury's a fighting man. Ngannou, I don't feel like is a fighting man. I feel like he's come through some of the worst things in life. He's had such a great, brilliant story. So why wouldn't you want to reach the top of MMA, then reach the top of boxing in a boxing match and make your arc just complete and make leaving the UFC and that whole shenanigan worth everyone's while and worth the fans' while? I don't know if other fans are annoyed at this the same way I am, but I'm really just fed up of this type of stuff. Like the Floyd Mayweather exhibitions. I don't mind. It's entertaining watching him beat up some YouTubers and all this. But this, I feel like, is just pathetic, and it's a waste of a professional bout for both of these men, if this does go ahead and happen. They're thinking the end of April, which would February, March, April, like under 2 months, maybe like 9 weeks away, 10 weeks away. I just feel... Tyson Fury is more right to do this because, he wants to beat the biggest, baddest guy in MMA with small little gloves and prove he's a proper fighting man, bare knuckle just about. I feel like Ngannou departing from the UFC to then do this, it's kind of like half a fight, half a boxing match. It's so strange to me that he's... So what happens if he loses to Fury here? does he still go into boxing and box Joshua and stuff? I just think that takes away from everything. I think he should hop in and maybe fight someone like Anthony Joshua. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua would be genuinely massive. Joshua having to keep his career on track, fighting one of the most deadly punchers in MMA history, the champion that's left the MMA to prove that he can kill people in boxing as well. That's a massive fight. I feel like that's a bigger fight than Tyson Fury versus Ngannou, because I feel like everybody just would expect Fury to be very smart, very tactical, to not get clipped, tire Ngannou out and finish him within the middle of the fight. But I feel like AJ has kind of come out of his shell a little bit more recently. Yeah, he's gone into hiding again. We haven't heard from him in months. I just feel like it'll be a bigger fight. Wilder versus Ngannou, the two biggest power punchers in heavyweight history. One from MMA, one from boxing. These silly little like fake exhibition, and I'm not saying it's a fake fight, but bear in mind, boxing rules with 4-ounce gloves is very much, my hair is actually horrible, is very much a real fight. Don't get me wrong. However, I just have issue with it. Why not do it under it's not going to be a professional fight, presumably. Like, they can't obviously sanction that, I don't think. What, will it be like 10 rounds or something? 8 rounds? Like, I feel like Ngannou in boxing would be very slow, very flat-footed, very, I can't explain it. I can't explain what I feel like he would be when it comes to boxing, because I just don't care. I just don't care about this. I want a proper fight. I want real rule sets. I want all of this type of stuff, and it's not happening. Thank you all very much for watching. Give me your thoughts. I think it's pathetic. I think it's boring. I think it's stupid. Subscribe. Thank you for all the comments on the last video. I love responding to them.